Most healthcare operators hit a wall around location 4 or 5. You're profitable, you're busy, but you're stuck. You think it's a staffing issue, or maybe it's a clinical issue. Oftentimes, it's not. Mostly, it's a real estate structure issue that is quietly freezing you and your capital to the desk. Today, I'm showing you the 5 reasons you're stuck and the exact capital strategy to help get you to 20. There's a very specific wall that healthcare operators hit between 3 and 5 locations. Those that are able to break through the wall go on to build 10, 15, or maybe 20 location platforms. Operators who don't grind for years, maybe even a decade, wondering what they're missing. It's not ambition, it's not clinical quality, it's infrastructure, real estate infrastructure. I'm going to break down which of the 5 reasons this wall exists. And each one is fixable, but only if you know which one is actually stopping you. Here's the first reason, and if this one doesn't sting a little, the next 4 definitely will. At 1 or 2 locations, being the operator who touches everything is a feature. You know every patient by name, you know all of the vendors, you know the lease clauses. That's how you build quality, and that's how you earn trust. But by location 3 and 4, that same trait becomes your ceiling. If a site deal can't go through because you need to sign off on every line item, or your operations manager can't negotiate a TI allowance with the landlord without you on the call, you're the bottleneck. Not the market, not the capital, but you. Scaling real estate requires a parallel track that runs independently of you. Most operators have never built this track. They built kind of a hub and spoke model where they are the hub, and you cannot add spokes faster than you personally can spin. The fix isn't hiring a COO and hoping for the best. It's systematizing your real estate decision making so that someone else can run the playbook. That starts with reason number 3. But first, let's talk about exactly where your capital is going. This is the one that operators don't see until it's too late, because the capital doesn't disappear, it just stops moving. There are 2 distinct ways this happens, and most operators are dealing with at least one of them. And then there's a personal guarantee itself, the PG. If you're signing full, unconditional personal guarantees for each and every lease, you're not just tying up capital, you're capping your own credit capacity. Every personal guarantee that you sign shows up on your own personal financial statement. And private equity or institutional capital partners look at your personal guarantee exposure almost before they look at anything else. So carrying 4 or 5 personal guarantees is the fastest way to get shut out of the capital relationships that you need to scale past 10 clinics. The second problem is for operators who own their real estate outright. When it exists, the capital freeze is significant. Here's a concrete example. You own the building for your first 2 locations. They value anywhere between $2 and $4 million. The equity is real, but it's illiquid. It's not helping you open up or do the build out for any new location. It's just sitting there appreciating 3, maybe 4% a year while you scramble to find capital partners to grow your business. A sale-leaseback changes that. You sell the buildings to an investor at market rate. You sign a long-term lease to stay in operation, and then you leave with liquid capital, typically in 60 to 120 days per deal. You give up ownership, but you keep control. And now you have the capital for the next 2, 3, or 5 locations. Whether your capital is frozen in personal guarantees or locked in real estate that you own, the principle is the same. Capital that isn't moving isn't working. And operators scaling past 5 clinics have figured out how to keep their capital liquid. Every time you look at a new location, does it feel like you're starting from scratch? That's the tell. You're driving the trade area, pulling your own demographics, relying on gut feel about the co-tenancy and the general area itself. Maybe you ask your broker what they think. That's not a system. That's an opinion, and opinions don't scale. Operators opening 4, 5, 10, or 20 locations a year have a written site selection model. They know their target patient population radius. They know their minimum rooftop count. They know which co-tenants are best for their referral base. Orthopedic groups, primary care, imaging centers. And they filter by proximity to those anchors before they ever tour a space. Every site gets scored against criteria like these. The ones that don't hit a threshold don't get a second look, no matter how much the broker loves the deal. No emotion, no gut feel, score it and move on. Without this, every site decision becomes a custom project. Custom projects take time, they drain energy, and can't be delegated. Scorecards turn site selection from an art into a process, and processes are scalable. Site selection gets you the right location. This is what determines whether you get the right deal once you're there. If every lease negotiation starts at zero, you're reinventing your LOI language, your TI ask, your exclusivity clauses. Maybe you're reinventing your co-tenancy protections for every single deal that you do. You're creating custom work for yourself, your attorneys, and your broker. That costs money, that costs time, and your deals are only as good as the people that are in the room on that specific day. Custom deal process. New LOI language every deal. TI ask varies by field. PG negotiation ad hoc. Attorney redrafts from scratch. 60 to 90 day negotiation. Templated deal process. Standard LOI template, pre-approved. TI ask anchored to build out benchmarks. PG burn down, baked into template. Attorney reviews against known positions. High volume healthcare operators have deal templates. Standard LOI terms, a defined TI ask based on build out cost benchmarks, lease language that they protect aggressively. You should be able to hand a junior team member a deal template and they get the lease negotiations done roughly 80% before you ever even touch the deal. And if you can't do that, you don't have a scalable deal process. You have a reoccurring custom project. The fifth reason operators stall at 3 to 5 locations is fear of making the wrong next move. Not loud, obvious fear, but quiet, operational fear. You slow walk a site selection decision. You wait for that one more data point until the deal no longer exists. You pass on a deal that was probably going to be just fine. That fear is almost always rooted in one or two things. Either a prior bad real estate decision, say you signed a lease in the wrong market, or a location that never fully ramped up, and that's made you gun shy. Or you simply don't have enough information to make you feel confident about the next site. Both are solvable. A bad prior deal is tuition. The lesson is building the system that prevents this on the next one. And that lack of confidence is almost always from the absence of a rigorous evaluation framework, which brings us back to reason number 3. Decision paralysis is a data and process problem wearing the mask of a fear problem. Operators who have a site selection model, a deal template, and a capital structure that gives them flexibility don't freeze. They execute. The infrastructure removes the hesitation. Let me tie all of these together because they don't operate independently, they compound. When everything runs through you, you can't build a site selection system. When you can't build a system, every deal is custom. When every deal is custom, capital gets deployed inefficiently. When the capital is frozen and the personal guarantees are piling up, your options narrow fast. And when your options narrow, fear fills that gap. The operators who break through the 3 to 5 wall, they aren't any smarter. They aren't capitalized better at the start. They built the infrastructure, the systems, the deal templates, the capital strategy. This lets real estate work for the growth and not against it. It's a solvable problem, but you have to see it clearly first. You may not need more clinics. You may need a better engine. First, check out the video description and you'll find a site selection scorecard there. Download it, put it in your car, and use it on your next site visits to give you a little bit more confidence in what you're looking at. Or go to our website at www.winstonwarren.com and book a call with me and my team. We work with a few operators per quarter, and if you think now is the right time for you, let's talk.